Welcome to Industry Ignited, where we spotlight leaders turning real-world problems into practical innovation. I'm your host, Dr. Leeanne Aguilar. Today, I'm joined by Sara Quintero, founder and chief innovation officer of Karma Chic Marketplace, a platform empowering women-owned and minority-owned businesses with e-commerce, AI-powered vendor tools, and real-time analytics. With a decade across retail, brand strategy, and tech integration, Sara blends creativity and data to help entrepreneurs grow with confidence. Sara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
I look forward to our conversation.
Me too.
So diving in, Sara, you started in fashion merchandising, launched a boutique, and eventually pivoted into tech. What experiences from retail and entrepreneurship shaped the Karma Chic vision?
Well, let me say that I actually have been an entrepreneur at heart since I was little. I started a babysitting club, I think, when I was 12. So, and then I continued on through high school and then found my major at Florida State University, fashion merchandise, and with the end goal of wanting to create my own boutique one day. I'm from Tampa, Florida. And my goal was to, after going to retail management, own my own store. So bringing back that past childhood entrepreneurship into my own business. So I formulated back in 2014 a business plan, and within I think it was 4 months, I pulled the trigger, found a spot, and I was launched with my own clothes from my closet. So it was a consignment store.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so found a small space, and within a year, I'd grown out of that space and to a larger space. And then throughout that, the next year and a half, I found that unfortunately I couldn't compete with the online space of e-commerce. So with the Real and Poshmark, so then I was going to pivot into bringing in new retail, and then we unfortunately had a hurricane that was going to come here, then didn't, ended up, which was great for us, but then I lost the 3 months of the retail sales, so I decided, okay,
Oh, wow.
which direction am I going to go into? So I formulated Karma Chic back then. In 2017, I had the idea that I was going to shutter my doors and then start an online platform for local artisans and businesses, because I actually had sold some artisan product in my store. And what I looked at them is that there's two aspects. These artisans didn't have the tech knowledge, or they didn't want to. They were artists. I wanted to give a platform that I could, offer that to them, low cost. And then another aspect of me being in my store every day is that I saw, as soon as I told customers their story behind the product, and this is a single mom, people purchase the product. So I was
Right.
like, okay, this is a win-win. Let me give this platform where I can offer these products and then also tell the story. Well, obviously, pandemic, life, and everything happened. So through the next few years, I had this business in the back of my mind, and then it was just not the right time. And then in 2024, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and launch it. So now here I am.
Great. Yeah, so it's a winding road, is what I'm
Yes,
hearing. Yeah.
which I'm
Which is
sure you get from a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, which is very, very common. It doesn't always work out quite how we think, but it usually ends up, better and takes us into a new direction that's often more exciting and offers new opportunities for growth and innovation. So I'm hearing
Absolutely.
like you really saw two big needs. I'm hearing like the makers who want to create and the buyers who purchase when they were hearing your story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so you identified a marketplace that could really connect those dots. And
And I do want to throw in too, it was kind of funny that I had this concept way back when, but now it's so relevant with the whole movement towards AI. people want human connection and
Right.
interaction. So now what I had my lead developer and my application builder is to make sure that I have some kind of capability where these vendors in their dashboard can upload a video about me, or if they want to, it's YouTube capability, any promotion or whatnot, they can go ahead and upload whatever they want, and then the video's live in their dashboard. So that was very important to me. And that was one aspect of it as you were going to say the human connection, and then
Yeah.
also offering the platform.
Yeah. Right. Right. So introducing the new technology and
Yes.
taking advantage of that. Yeah.
I mean, I
So,
use the AI, but it's great for me.
uh-huh. Right.
But on the front end, customers are going away from, and they're scared of it. And then
They're
these
scared.
little
Yeah.
artisans, or they don't know the technology. So that's where my platform comes in, because I'm all in one, inclusive. Here you go. If you just sign up, I'm going to give you the resources, the tools, and the AI integrations that make it easy for you. And they trust me. So,
Right.
and that they're not just throwing in a subscription or their products or their brand into this platform, and they know that I'm smaller and I'm not corporately owned. So that's another great aspect of my vision and what I'm doing.
Right. So it's really a turnkey solution that you're
Yes,
offering to your vendors, and then you're giving them the support as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the differentiator. You're not a huge conglomerate that has too many,
No.
you know, spokes in the wheel, I guess. It's,
And I
uh,
want to keep it that way
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
keep costs down.
Right. Exactly. Now, closing the boutique felt like a setback at the time.
Yes.
What turned it into your launch pad for innovation?
Learning everything, what to do and what not to do. So, um, it, I would say the most beneficial thing that I learned back then was to not be afraid of failure or putting myself out there. I was so afraid of that, and so afraid of what people would think, and that was very hard for me. And that was an aspect of me staying behind the scenes a lot. Whereas now I'm like, all right, I need to be proud of what I did. Yes, I did shut my doors and I did feel like a failure. But now I worked hard to do this, and I worked in a startup for a year and a half prior to me launching, so I could get the tech and the startup industry knowledge before I started Karma Chic. And so now all those experience got me to where I am now, and the confidence.
Right.
So, yeah,
And that's true. I mean, we learn through adversity. I mean,
yes,
unfortunately, I mean, it's not fun going through the
no,
hard times, but right, but it's an opportunity for growth. And if we
absolutely.
have that mindset that, I can do this, I can get through it. I mean, it does instill confidence, and it does create that, I guess, knowledge or knowingness that we can get through hard times. And so going forward, I think it does make us resilient and stronger, right? Yeah. What personal values or moments would you say, like motherhood, resilience, mentoring, most influence how you build today?
I would say motherhood and the connection with these women entrepreneurs or business owners that are out there every weekend marketing and going to these pop-ups and just doing what they love to and creating. But I also, it's not just artisans that I have. That was going to be my main focus originally, and give them a platform where they could sell or just promote their businesses. But now I integrated charities, and so I'm now sponsoring, and it's no cost for these charities to get exposure. So, and just another avenue for them to get the word out. And then I added professional services, and I think that it's just really celebrating these individuals, that whatever they're doing out there in their career, whether they're a professional, they're running a charity, or they're a marketer, or they're creating candles. I mean, it's just a celebration of them putting themselves out there and doing this in business. And
Right.
then as for motherhood, I have two children. I have a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old. And really, my daughter's 22. And I wanted to show her, look what I can do and look what you can do. And so I really, that was one aspect back in 2024. She moved back from college and was kind of struggling. And I wanted to show her, all right, look, this is what we as women can do. And so that kind of like excelled me, like put a little
Yeah, give you some
in
purpose.
myself.
Yeah,
Because I'm
absolutely.
like, I have to show her I can't feel because what is she going to think? So,
Yeah, right. It's that extra motivation, that sense of purpose, and
yes, absolutely.
same kind of thing with my business. In the early years, really involved my kids a lot. Before they are all off on their own now, empty nester, but I involved them as much as I could, just so one, I mean, they develop the skills, but also, yeah, so they can see what entrepreneurship looks like. And it's
Absolutely.
not always easy, not always pretty. Sometimes it's late nights, and they were at the office
Yes.
with me, all times of the day sometimes. But
It's
you
so
know,
true. And sometimes they don't, they're, as you know, they're not vocal. They don't really tell you, but then I'll get little comments or they're following me on my socials or that now their friends are following me. And I'm like, so I'm really making an impact, whether I'm having the discussion with them or not. So that's really been meaningful to me as well.
right? No, I love that. Yeah. So give us the 1 minute tour. What is Karma Chic, and how is
Yes.
it different from Etsy style marketplace?
So, how I am different is that you can either sell on my platform or you can promote on my platform. It's geolocation specific targeted. So, say you're from Tampa, you're from Dallas, you want to find somebody, you have a cousin in Dallas, but you don't want to buy from a big corporation. Hey, I want to find a local artisan, and then you can go on there and find somebody that's selling on from that specific location. So mainly how I differentiate myself is because it's not just the selling, and it's marketing or selling or both. So I don't pigeonhole myself in just one application. And also, I'm creating a creator lab, which I think you and I had discussed, which is going to have the AI tools. So underneath the platform, if somebody needs assistance with their social media or their product or a post, they can do it within their dashboard, and it's going to be spit out to all their social media wherever they want, whether Instagram or LinkedIn and whatnot. So it's all encompassing platform, so it's easy for everybody and
Yeah.
cost effective.
And cost effective as well. Yeah. So walk us through your AI powered vendor hub. Tell us a little bit more, like your
So
product listings, etc.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is in the making. I'm working with my lead developer currently right now, and we are creating a proprietary chatbot that is going to be specifically for Karma Chic only, and also a Creator Lab dashboard. And basically, what I just said, if you're a vendor on there, you're going to be able to put your product, your business, or if you want to shoot an event, I'm going to have calendar integrated as well. So it's all going to be automated within their vendor dashboard.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
So they
So
don't have to go anywhere else
yeah, so
because
they can
right now
stay
it's
in
like
one
here or
place. That's
here or
true. That's
here.
true. Right. You're going to all different kinds of places to look at analytics. So
Yes.
your geo tracking and vendor dashboards, I guess you mentioned like that you're going to have include the Google Analytics, Looker Studio.
Yes.
Which 2 to 3 metrics matter most for small sellers?
It depends on their business, but I would say the traction up to their website or what the views they're getting. Obviously, because of their niches, that it's different. I mean, there's small business that are selling products. They want their sales, but
Yeah.
somebody a brick and mortar, they want to see who's viewing, who's coming through and seeing their business or whatever they're marketing through Karma Chic. Because obviously, why would they be on there, spend their time to be on another platform if they're not getting any views or any kind of uptick in their analytics?
Right. Yeah. And are you educating them as far
Oh,
as
yes.
analytics as well?
Oh,
Okay. And
yes.
understanding
Absolutely.
KPIs and understanding what they should be looking at. Right. Because optimization is part of what they need to do still when they're creating their product listings and creating the, front end that the users will be interacting with. And
Yes, and it's
yeah.
very easy for me, and that's something that I had to I struggled with too, is because I keep it with tech talk to me is so easy, but sometimes I'll talk about it and people have no idea. Like I'm speaking another
I
language.
know.
So I really
Yeah.
had to simplify it because I talk to my husband sometimes and he's like, I have no idea what you just said. And I'm like, okay, if you don't, then these day-to-day businesses probably have no idea what I'm talking. So I really had to simplify it. And layman terms, I would kind of say for some businesses, some don't care. Some just like, okay, just let me join because I want to support you and just another avenue. And you blast me sometimes on Instagram. Great. Some people, I had one business that has a brick and mortar around here. She asked those questions that were specific. What's the benefit of me? What is the, how are you going to do this? Which
Right.
obviously those that type of business I had the answers for, but if they do want it more simplified, I have the onboarding material for that. But then I'm also here to basically, I'm open anytime they have any questions and whatnot. I'm available to help them out.
Right. Just so supporting and providing information
Yes.
despite the level of expertise and familiarity they have with the different metrics and
Yes.
what they're needing. And yeah, when you're running a business, I mean, it's all about numbers and
Oh, yeah.
KPIs and
Absolutely.
the beautiful thing with technology and the digital age, and we have access to so many tools and resources that give us that insight. And so, yeah, that's
Yeah, and
helpful.
I'm trying to cut through the noise too, as well. And that's something else that I'm going to be offering that's coming with the Vendor Dashboard Creator Lab is that I have a couple of communities that I'm building. So there's going to be one for getting into new business, and there's going to be courses for that. And then there's going to be existing, professionals, and then there's going to be one for artisan communities. So I'll have and then a resale community. So I'm going to be offering that too within the platform if they want it,
Yeah.
to help cut down the noise. Because, like we said, there's so many different. I mean, if you go on any kind of social media, you're inundated with these ads and this or whatever you're looking at or you're targeting or this, and it's just so much. So I want to give some quick wins for the individuals who want it all
Yeah.
underneath my platform.
Yeah. Now, pricing and accessibility kept low barriers like tiers, free join, limited fees. Why was this non-negotiable for you?
That was another aspect that I heard back when I shut down my business is that the astronomical fees that these small businesses had to pay for in joining these platforms or getting marketing out there, and I didn't want that. I mean, these are a lot of just small business owner, and every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And so that definitely, and that's not going to change. And yeah,
Yeah.
because I get it. I was there
Right.
once.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So you said I mean, it's been how long now? A year and a half since you launched
Yes.
Karma Chic? Okay. And
Yeah. My first
so,
MVP went live last August.
uh-huh.
I actually had an acquaintance of mine. She was following my journey. She's a newscaster and she does a weekly or daily show on Bloom TV. And she had been following my journey. Obviously, before I went live, I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to launch this. I'm going to do this," and she reached out to me, wanted me to be on air, and I wasn't even my website was under construction, and she was like, "Well, this is when I want to do it in August. Have something to go live," and I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
gosh!"
wow.
So,
So
and
all of
I
a sudden,
said,
yeah, you had a deadline.
"So she really." Her name's Gail Gallardo, and I really, really, I thank her all the time because she's had me a couple more times to see my traction over the past since August. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you were the one that made me I was doing it, but maybe go live for the first time.
Yeah,
And
right.
so I wasn't going to turn down being free press.
Yeah,
So
there you
that
go.
I went live last with my first three vendors, my first beta testers, and then now have been completing iterations ever since. And now I'm up to 45, and I got two in the past 2 days.
Yay,
Yay.
congratulations. That's awesome. All right. So what results are you seeing, like traffic lift, engagement, vendor wins, and how do you help founders turn analytics into action?
I would say the number one success right now would be just these vendors getting exposure for markets that they wouldn't have had prior to being on the platform. I mean, obviously, I'm still newly getting my name out there. So, but they're seeing different spikes in their social media. They're getting new followers that they wouldn't have prior to joining. So that's the biggest wins that I've seen so far that I can definitely check.
Right.
And they have seen because it's they can see the results on their social media or their analytics if they're checking. And then also for me, I've had vendors tell their friends or tell other women business owners. So just for them being happy with the success of what they're getting, I've had people reach out to me, and it's only growing. And I've joined a couple recent networking groups, and it's just really exciting and blowing up from that.
Yes, it's snowballing, and I guess getting those referrals to the word of mouth
Yes.
is yeah, huge. It's always you always get the best customers. I think the highest quality
Oh,
customers
absolutely.
come from referrals and word of mouth. Yeah.
I would tell you, I've only spent $65 total in advertising, and I have over 45 vendors. And that's from me being consistent, showing up, getting the word of mouth. So obviously, I'm doing something right for them to want to come in. And I've done not a lot of outreach just because I wasn't there. My site wasn't where I wanted to be until like a month ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's something's doing.
Right, right. So even without the paid advertising and,
Yes.
really focus efforts on getting the word out up until recently, those results have still come in just because
Yeah.
of those relationships and word of mouth. And yeah, and it will hopefully continue to grow from here. That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
know.
So tell me more about your distribution playbook from local press and partnerships to creator tagging and SEO backlinks. What's working best to drive sales?
I would say networking,
Yeah.
really. And LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been huge for me. Obviously, that's how you and I found each other. But LinkedIn and social media and posts, but we all know it depends on your or your business, and it depends on your audience. So I've been told to go on this platform or this platform, and I found one that worked because we're so inundated. And some people said go on TikTok, and I'm like, TikTok's not my audience. So I really found truly what my audience is and where they're at, and showing up and promoting and just doing daily postings where on those platforms, and then also going out and networking in the past month has been huge. I've met several women. I just joined Women in Tech and Entrepreneurship, and that's been amazing. So that's really where, if anybody's going into this industry or they want to be or they're out in business, I would say that just network and get the personal communication going and open the dialogue with other individuals, and maybe not in your niche but just out there that will understand how entrepreneurship is and the struggles, because we can go talk all day about it
Right,
and the
right.
successes in this.
Yeah.
So
But I think you mentioned something important, though. It's like you want to identify your target audience and then go to where they are.
yes.
So you don't want to network without that strategy in mind,
No.
because there are all kinds of ways you can spend your time. And like you mentioned, you're being on social media inundated with all of these offers, and everybody wants a piece of your time. And,
Yes,
time and focus are your most valuable resources, right?
exactly. Time
Yeah.
is currency.
Yeah. So tell me who's joining today? 35 plus core, growing Gen Z, young entrepreneurs, and how does the community aspect, like through storytelling, education, weekly AI tips, et cetera, fuel retention?
I would say right now it's 50-50 of artisans and then 50% of professionals. So my niche is so different. And when I try to explain it, because I'm like, well, I do this and this person could join and this person could sell or they could just market. So right now it's 50-50 of kind of who the connections that I made. Like I go to markets every weekend, but then I attend networking events for the professionals. So I've made the connections, and once they've met me or we've discussed or they're interested, pretty much have joined from those opportunities. Now with Gen Z, I did recently hire my friend's daughter who is 17. She's brilliant. She wants to be a data analyst, but she is brilliant in speaking on camera. And so I said, "You are great at this." So she's taking over my TikTok because I know that's not my audience, but she is going to try to capture that market. And we just added a youngpreneur category, and so we already got somebody, one of my son's friends who's 16, just started a business painting curves, but hey, he's a young entrepreneur like I was.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm kind of pushing her to help with getting Gen Z, but I don't know Gen Z. I don't know that market. I wasn't raised on the technology like they do. They
Right.
are. So my knowledge and what I can offer to my cohort of age group is different, but I know that she can help.
Can reach them.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. It helps in that translation. And so she can
exactly.
speak to them, to their values, to what's important to them, in a way that's engaging and, right, speaks their language. So, right, that's smart to bring somebody who identifies with that audience because they're
Oh
part of
yeah,
that
that was a
audience.
weakness for me.
Yeah, right. But
I mean, my son was like, "What are you doing posting this? This is horrible on TikTok." And I was like, "All right, I'm done." And because I would post my
yeah,
videos that were the Instagram market and the target audience, and then he was like, "No." And so then I was
yeah.
like, "All right, you're right."
No, it does make a big difference. And what we,
Yes.
yeah, consider interesting and engaging and our style, the Gen Xers or millennials
Yeah.
even, is completely different than the Gen Zs or those up and coming into the marketplace. Yeah.
Yes. And when Milan is her name, who I hired, she did this video and it went viral. It was like
Awesome.
a minute. And I was like, "You did that in literally 30 minutes." And I was like, "Okay, you take over my TikTok because
Right. Right. That's, yeah, exciting. They know what to do. They know
yes.
what sells when it comes to their, generation. So,
And so that's one thing I want to say too is try to find somebody like that.
yeah, right. In the
Use your
generation. Yeah.
resources.
Yeah. Sarah, beyond Tampa, how are you onboarding vendors from Texas, Louisiana, and abroad? What does national global look like for Karma Chic?
Well, actually, I just got somebody, and you're out of Texas as we spoke, and she was a vendor that had followed me, and so she contacted me, signed up. I was like, "Oh my gosh," she was outside of Houston. And so what I did was I just reached out to her because I get the vendor login, they get automatic email, and then I send over the onboarding material, and I simplified everything. So I'm here if they need me, but obviously, as I grow, I can't be there on call every time that they're onboarding. So I made the onboarding very super easy and the dashboard super user friendly. So they get the information, they can upload their product, they can do like pretty much everything and have a space within 5 minutes after I would approve them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I have one from Houston. She hasn't listed any product yet. But then I had somebody from LA. He sells candles. He's on my homepage, and we've never even had a Zoom. I offer, and he's like, nope, I got it. And he uploaded his candles, and he actually had a sale in the first week. So
Oh, great. Yeah, so it was very
yeah,
intuitive for him. So yeah, I guess it,
yeah. And
right.
he's just somebody that does pop-ups on the weekend, and I had followed him, and he saw me and just logged in, and now, yeah,
Yeah, it was a
my
good
first
good fit.
LA West
Yeah.
Coast vendor.
Yay, that's exciting. And but your platform, it's scalable globally, right? I mean, it's not
Yes,
necessarily limited to,
it
yeah.
is. I did have somebody who followed me on Threads several months ago from Amsterdam. She sells silk products. But unfortunately, because of the tariffs, people from Europe and overseas are backing off on joining
Right
the
now.
platform.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's there and it's
It's
available.
there.
And yeah, 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 yeah.
And I
So
told her, I said, I can still send people to your website. And
yeah.
she was just like, I'm a little nervous now. And I was like,
Yeah. Well,
everything is,
yeah. It's
you know,
scalable and I mean everything changes. The economy
exactly. So I'm
changes
like, but I'll
constantly and
still be
yeah.
here next
Right,
year or whatever.
right. Exactly. Yeah. And also, you face copycats and investor pressure to open to everyone, yet
Yes.
stayed mission true. How do you balance scale with purpose?
Stick to my core values and my mission statement. Um, yeah, that that was a rough time for me talking about the two ladies up north that kind of copied my concept why I was doing iteration and I had backed off from my website. I think I discussed that with you too, is that here in Tampa we had double hurricanes and my South Tampa was really devastated. So I kind of lost a good 3-4 months of where my traction was going back starting in October. So I kind of had to pull back and I lost a partner through that because he lost his home. So while I was doing that, I had the core and I was getting, traction on some social media. And these two ladies formulated a business, took my landing page, and then launched a business similar to mine. And so it was kind of disheartening when I started picking back up. But then I said, oh my gosh, because then you start questioning yourself. You're questioning what you're doing, why you're doing this, because I'm doing this not just for the business aspect, because I truly want to help in these other women or these minority businesses and just give them a platform,
Right,
not just to make me money.
right.
So, and that was really disheartening to me at the time. But then I took a few weeks and some deep breaths, and then I reached out to a mentor here in the Tampa Bay area, which we are so very lucky with this community that there's so many entrepreneurs that are wanting to help. And I'm sure that that's everywhere. So my advice would be to anybody that is kind of struggling with that to go, try to reach out to somebody that has been there
Right.
in your shoes before, because that totally turned me. I did a 180 and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to look at that. I'm me. And that's one thing that he said. He's like, they're not you. They're not, they don't have your story. They might have come in, but you have your story and why
Right.
you're doing this. So people
Yeah.
are going to relate to that. And so it's like, okay, you're right. And because you question yourself. So yeah. And then I had a personal friend of mine that was very impressed with the platform, and he offered me to, if I opened it up to everybody, meaning men, women, and just not just women and minority focus. And I said no. And I could have really used that that funding at the time, but I didn't want to go away. Like that's why I built this. I mean, there's so
Right.
many other platforms and opportunities for others, and so I mean, not to say I wanted to pigeonhole myself, but I kind of did with that market. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you chose to focus and focusing
yes,
your time and resources on a specific demographic. And like we mentioned before, time is our scarcest resource.
It
So,
is.
yeah, what would you delegate first? Like operations, marketing, vendor
Yes.
success? I know what makes for a value aligned, hire,
You heard
scaling.
that that was a quick yes. All the admin stuff. So, I mean, I can only automate so much through AI with Zapier and the automation tools. So, but the day-to-day ops is what I'm going to, yes, that's my
Find support
first
with.
hire.
Yeah. Get support around. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, to free up more time. Yeah, because as a
Yes.
leader, the more you can delegate, the more you can focus on your own business strategy and growth and
Yes.
scaling. And yeah.
It's hard because I am a control freak. And so I have to really trust this person. And I do have a couple in mind as I grow, but I would have to 100% trust that they're going to have as much, obviously, they're not going to have as much passion as me. It's my baby, but really want to have the same goals that I do or align with my same vision and my mission. So when that comes, that's going to be very important to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because you can't do everything or be all
No.
things to all people. But right. Yeah, exactly. It is hard to let go, though. I can relate to that. Yeah. As you grow, being handing things off and not knowing everything and not being in control of everything and trusting, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I talked to a potential investor several months ago, and he was like, I'm pre-revenue," and he was like, "You can't do everything." I'm like, "Why not? I have been." And he's like, "You won't be able to as you grow." And I was like,
No.
and now I'm starting to see that. And I'm like, "You're 100% right."
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to get into that key man syndrome because eventually you want to position yourself where you can sell or get acquired or something like that.
Yeah,
But so you have to actually work yourself out of the business.
I
And,
know. It scares me.
I know. So you can work on the business, but not in the business. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
this actually is my favorite part of it. So I love talking with, doing podcasts or going to the markets. That's really what I love, and the creative aspect of it,
yes,
helping
yeah,
in doing the posts and whatnot. But the day to day, I do it obviously now, but that's really what I love the most, and the interactions with, you know, people every day
yeah,
and that I meet.
yeah. So what's on the near-term roadmap? Deeper AI content, smarter dashboards, CRM
Yep,
automations, or
all of the
new
above.
categories? Okay, yeah, right, yeah.
All of the above. They're in the works, and I should have everything set within the next month. And then obviously it's going to be I'm going to be doing more outreach, cold outreach, instead of just the warm leads that I've received through my social media and the networking that I've done, to go out, through Florida, and then because the connections that I have here, and then,
Yeah.
but just like that vendor from Texas, she's like, I have 20 people that would sign up that from around here, and people from Dallas. So, and then my LA vendor, he was like, I have somebody this. So it's like kind of almost like there's here, and then it's going to expand like that. But
Okay.
so yeah, that's my
That's your
your
plan.
future.
I know. Do you have referral fees or a structure for incentivizing people to refer you?
Well, I was going to say no, but then I did just send out an email, and I said, oh, if anybody signs up to my email list, through your referral, you get a free t-shirt,
Okay.
that, but
Yeah.
it's a start.
It's a start, right? Yeah, I know referral programs because referrals are so valuable.
Oh,
Referral
absolutely.
programs yeah, can be worth their weight in gold, right? Yeah. And for founders listening who feel stuck and not sure how to move forward, what would your go-to resilience habits be? And what's your best advice on finding mentors and momentum?
I would say my best advice and what I did was show up no matter what, and put one foot in front of the other. Even when you feel defeated, that day, and those minutes that you get and you're just sitting there not doing anything, you're losing that time. And like we said, time is currency. I know it can be so hard because I've been there twice. Once when I shut down my boutique, and then over this summer. But then I changed my mindset. So it was all about changing my mindset as well. I went out and I started listening to podcasts again. I started to read books. I started to get back into the entrepreneur mindset and said, okay, this is where I'm going to go, because it is all about that. And it's like I said, putting one foot in front of the other, and do something where you can get that creative and that spark back. Right. And then as for a mentor, LinkedIn has been my savior. I mean, I follow so many individuals on there in different genres of businesses, and that's how I reached out to this one person. He owns several restaurants in the area, and I saw that he mentors students at UT and USF, and he does all these classes, and I just, with a wing and a prayer, reached out to him. And he reached out to me right away. And often these people are because they've been in your footsteps, they're so willing to assist you. So don't be afraid. That's another thing. Don't be afraid. I used to be afraid when I had imposter syndrome years ago. And now I'm like, okay, what do I have to lose? If I don't contact him, I'm still in the same place. Yeah. So that's really what my biggest advice.
That is really good advice. Yeah, just don't be afraid to reach out to people, because you're right. People are generally willing to help and share their knowledge and wisdom, so they can prevent, hopefully, others from making the same mistakes they did, and just help move business along. And
and I'm sure, as you know, we see these businesses and that are all shiny and pretty, and there's success. I make 10 million ARR my first year, whatever. Anyways, but they don't see the back end a lot of times. And so that's one thing that this mentor told me. He's like, you did the right thing of putting yourself out there, because I said, if I had not put myself out there, they wouldn't have found me. And he said, but here's the thing, you put yourself out there, you have the digital footprint from back when you started this a year and a half ago. They don't. So you're going to you built more trust. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I didn't even think about that. And then he also said, you see this, we met at one of his restaurants. He's like, you see all this. He goes, but you didn't see my first one that I had, that I was working, 20 hours a day. And then my marriage suffered, this suffered, that suffered. No one sees that. They see this.
They see the results, but not the journey. Exactly. Yeah. And it's all beautiful and wonderful when you don't know, everything that went on underneath the hood, basically. Yeah.
No.
And it's like, if people knew what it takes to get stellar results, are they really willing to do what it takes to get the same results? Yeah. Well, Sara, thank you for sharing your journey and the innovation behind Karma Chic. For listeners who want to learn more, how can they get involved, or how can they reach you?
They can reach out to me via my email, or they can go to my website, www.karmachic, so it's KarmaChicm as in market, P as in place.com. And then Sara at karmachicmp.com. And then I'll answer any questions that anybody has, or if they just want to reach out to me for support, if they're in the same place as me.
Yeah.
I've been there. So
so everyone reach out and take a look at all of the vendors in the space. And if you are a vendor, contact Sara.
Yay!
Yeah. And to everyone tuning in, follow and subscribe to Industry Ignited so you don't miss upcoming conversations with leaders pushing business and technology forward. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep igniting industry.